May the Venerable bless you all. Namo Buddhaya. My honor to the Supreme Buddha. I am very happy today to give you a kind of discussion on especially the leadership qualities and public speaking of the Supreme Buddha. AATSL Emerging Toastmasters Club meeting. So, especially Mr. Thero invited me to give this lecture. This is a kind of Dhamma sermon and last lecture for Dhamma discussion, Dhamma talk. So I think when we consider the Supreme Buddha's public speaking, it can be considered a congenial and healthy way of talking to all the beings, including humans, non-humans, and gods, and all that. But in our discussion, it is very, very important for us to pay attention on the human, because we are dealing with human beings, the general mass, the people. The day-to-day activities, we have to deal with people. Therefore, most probably, you all want how can we tackle with these people in day-to-day life in order to have kind of healthy public relations and to have success in life. So, in that regard, we can pay attention on his the Buddha's way of applying the methodology in his career during 45 years of time. He encountered various persons in different, different parts of the society. Some are rich, some are poor, some are beautiful, some are not beautiful, some are educated, some are not educated, some are wise, some are unwise, and sometimes some are from different classes, sometimes royal class, sometimes persons from commons, and some are from very, very low classes. So, for all the beings, and especially people, humans, he, to a great extent, to the most extent, he actually have relations, healthy relations, very good kind of rapport between those persons. Therefore, Dhamma friends and meritorious devotees. So, his address includes truth, that means truthful statements and soft words, and there is no tale bearing in that, and also there is no frivolous in his talk. All are very meaningful, and they are not meaningless. Even if he utters a single sentence, that could be very much appropriate for the development of mundane life and the supramundane life. That means secular and next world. So this kind of address, this kind of speaking is very important for us, because in our speaking, always we tend to tell lies, we tend to carry tales, we tend to have frivolous talk. I mean, we utter meaningless thoughts, and also we speak harsh words, which are not healthy for a good relationship. The beings, I mean human beings or even animals, do not like to hear harsh words. Therefore, the Buddha spoke good words, healthy words, and mellifluous words, truthful words, non-frivolous words, like that. So this is a very, very important thing for us to maintain in our day-to-day speaking, the present world, in order to have a kind of success in our any I mean even in business, even in education, even in I mean ruling the country, even in administration, even in day-to-day activities, whatever the context, we must have this type of approach because it will not be unsuccessful one. It will be a successful approach, methodology. So that is why it is very important. Now, for example, he has kind of in his talks, the Supreme Buddha has wise instructions for Kisa Gautami. The way that he handled the matter, he can remember. Gautami was one woman at that time whose baby died due to one kind of disease, but she did not understand that her baby was dead. Therefore, she was looking for medicine in order to cure the baby. But people knew baby is dead, but she doesn't like to accept the fact that her baby is dead. Then she went everywhere, mad. Nobody could give a medicine for her. So one wise person called Isagotami, he understood the matter. He knew this. She is, she has not understood this real situation in the world. That is death. We have to face death. Therefore, he directed him to the Supreme Buddha. Isagotami went to the Buddha and told, please help me to cure this small baby, my only son. Then she asked, can you cure my baby? Buddha said, yes, I can cure. If Buddha said, I can't, Isagotami will go back. I mean, she would have gone back, therefore, return. Then Isagotami was curious and enthusiastic to ask the next question. So what can I do? And Buddha said, you can bring some medicine, that is mustard seeds, some mustard seeds, other. Then she thought, my problem is so now step by step, Buddha approached the lady. And then Buddha said, okay, Pisa, then you go and bring some mustard seeds. When she was about to leave the place, Buddha once again asked, keep in mind, Kisa, I want mustard seeds from a place where there are no deaths has occurred. From a house where deaths have not occurred. No deaths. Then Isagotami went in Savatthi city, everywhere. She found the mustard seeds, but she did not find any house where there are no deaths or deaths have occurred. Then she herself understood this is a kind of natural situation and this is faced by many, not only myself. This is a kind of situation that we have faced. Then she understood her baby is already gone, dead. Then she put the dead body of the small baby in a cemetery and came back towards the Buddha and asked from the Buddha, please give me spiritual guidance to overcome all these sufferings. Then Buddha advised her, and finally she became a nun and practiced Dhamma and became an Arahant to end the entire suffering of this kind of, you know, all the problems from the world. So that is a very good occasion where Buddha used kind of wise approach and tactful approach to tackle the matter of that particular Isagotami who did not understand real situation in the world. The real situation in the world is impermanence. Impermanence is we cannot always keep the world in the same manner. It changes. Now we can see in the present context, the coronavirus. Now 2 to 3 years back, we did not want to wear masks and all that. We went everywhere. But now, whatever, completely drastic change. The world became topsy-turvy, upside down due to this virus. So changes. Sometimes this situation will change in some years to come to meet another problem sometimes. So always this situation is there. And we have to understand this, what is called impermanence. And then suffering. If something is impermanent, it is suffering. And if something is suffering, that is soulless, unsubstantial, we cannot manipulate according to our wish. Therefore, these are the three signals expounded by the Buddha. So, he taught it in a different way with his wisdom and step by step to Kisagotami, who was suffering from a greater mental problem. And finally, she got satisfied. So in that manner, sometimes in our day-to-day life and in our administrative tasks, ruling system, and in educational matters and always there are sometimes some same type of problems with our members. So we have to use some methodologies to solve their problems in that manner. To the same, I mean, we cannot have the same extent as did by the Supreme Buddha, but to a certain extent, we might be able, or we may be able to apply those methodologies. And also, the friends, situational instructions. I mean, various occasions, various people came to meet the Buddha with various problems. However, sometimes Brahmins, sometimes Pasena the Kosala king, sometimes King Bimbisara, sometimes Count Anevidu, and sometimes Visaka that counters like that, sometimes farmer, sometimes a seller, like that, various people came to Buddha encountered and Buddha tackled the problems and all that. Buddha had very good relationship with them, and he always was very, sympathetic towards them. Always he started the conversation. That is a very good thing. In our case, we sometimes have kind of stiff upper lip level, right? That position. We are proud, right? We don't like to see look at the face of a person. Sometimes due to various reasons today, we cannot just look at the people because the society is sometimes very bad. But in our day-to-day life and in our kind of environment, when we meet people, we can have at least a smile. Now I can remember one Buddhist monk in Australia, Perth. He is called Ismail White Monk. Earlier on, he was a Catholic. His name was Peter. Later on, he became a Buddhist. Now his name is Ajahn Brahmo. He is called Smiling White Monk because he always smiles. He asks when he comes to Sri Lanka, he asks our people practice to smile. So Buddha, Mandas Smita, always smiling. smiling face, not a tough face, not a kind of face with it's called uh, anger, right? So going of anger, always we have to have loving kindness and compassion, compassionate face. So that is the methodology Buddha used at that time in order to have public relations, in public speaking. And also he starts to talk first and foremost. Before the visitor speaks, the Buddha speaks. Swagata, very good. Yeah, Buddha says, today we keep quiet and the other person visitor sometimes he may have a kind of attitude to go back as early as possible because the approach is harsh sometimes. Therefore, Buddha's approach is very, very pleasing, happy, smiling, welcoming. So that is very, very good thing in our public relationship, public address, public speaking, even in our houses. How can we have the relationship with our wife and husband and the children? Sometimes some children do not like to see the father coming home, right? He's harsh person. Now we have to have kind of methodology to control our children. That is true, but he must not be a devil, or the mother must not be a devil. So like that, we have to have kindness in our heart. So our mind should be pure. So that is the most important factor here. Mind operates in everywhere. So if mind is having bad thoughts, our face is not smiling. It is not compassion. So that is why spiritual development is very important in Supreme Buddha's methodology. And also strategic and tactful way of talking and handling the persons. In speaking, we can remember the subduing of Alam, the demon, and the Buddha wanted to subdue Alam. It's a demon, very ferocious devil. He went to his residence. When he got to know that Buddha has arrived in his residence, he was completely, he became ferocious. And he came and he wanted to kill the Buddha. But he was very patient and he said, go out, oh monk, go out. Buddha listened very carefully. And Buddha said, okay, very good, friend, I will go out. Then he asked, come in, come in. And like that he had ordered. Buddha thought, if I listen to this particular devil, he will finally get control himself, have control. Therefore, he came in. Third time also, secondly also, he ordered the Buddha to go out. Buddha went. It kind of discipline. He was there obedient. He showed obedient to the devil. He did not show that I am the leader, I am a teacher, great teacher, I am a monk, I will not go out. No. He went out patiently. Then he said, come in, Pannasiri, order. So the devil thought, if I do like that, finally he will get exhausted and easily I can kill him. Then third time also he ordered. Buddha went out. He was very happy. And once again ordered to come in. Buddha came in. The final time, fourth time also he ordered. Then Buddha said, no, I am not going out now. If you can do anything, you can do now. So that the story is there in all of the discourse. I am not going to, explain the entire story. So there finally, Buddha could control the demon in that method. That is a full strategic methodology. And in public speaking, sometimes we will meet, we may encounter such persons. So we have to tackle them in that way. That means we have to be wise, we have to be patient, we have to be sometimes obedient, But finally, we can control the person. There are so many methodologies that are employed in those days. I mean, I have no time to explain all the methodologies. And also, his sometimes he had superficial powers, supernatural powers, so miraculous powers in controlling Angulimala, one of the killer assassinated, the famous assassinator was subdued by the Supreme Buddha with his psychic powers. Psychic powers. Of course, we don't have psychic powers, but we can have some kind of mental power to control people. If we develop or cultivate good qualities in our mind, and if we meditate, if we have meditation, and then we have a kind of spiritual power. Untamed person can be tamed in our day-to-day life. Sometimes there are children in our families, they are untamed, they're difficult to tame. But when we have that kind of spiritual power in our mind, the development of the mind help us to control those people and to have healthy relationship with anybody in the world. And also, so step by step methodology also Supreme Buddha used in his speaking, because when people come to him, some people are mature enough to understand deeper teachings. Some followers are not like that. Therefore, Buddha used step by step method, gradual method. So he instructs first and foremost, this is a very good merit to do good thing. You offer dana, that is a very good thing. So Buddha doesn't pause to explicate about Four Noble Truths or deeper teaching to that particular person. In that way, in education also, now if we apply this methodology in dealing with children, some children are, very, very intelligent. They can understand immediately. Some cannot understand immediately, but different method will be applicable to that particular student. That particular student is capable of understanding mathematics than single literature or any other science like economics or zoology, botany, or whatever it is, so administration and also various things. Because one student may be good at one subject, sometimes he may be good at languages, and sometimes drawings, sometimes mechanical aspects, sometimes computer science, like that. So we have to understand the capacity of this student. Therefore, Buddha understood that capacity of the follower who comes to him, and he has that kind of mental development, is magnanimous development, noble development. I mean, almost all the people do not have such developments, only the Buddha. But in our case, we can understand by our experience. Now, this student is, he likes this subject. But in our case, our education is a failure due to the fact that we are not dealing with these issues. We give the same, we have same approach to almost everybody, but students, 40 students in the class, 10 students in the class have different abilities, different capacities, different attitudes, different likes and dislikes. So we have to understand, Buddha understood it. Therefore, Buddha used this step-by-step methodology. So he told the story about, Saggakata, heavenly story. That particular person is now in heaven due to this merit. If you do like that, you also can go there. And he used another method to show the, hell, the stories of Pretaval. This particular person has done wrong. Therefore, he is now born in that place. Like that, he used different methodology to show the people to have to develop their, to have good conduct in them. Good conduct. Don't do bad, good, do good. And then he explicates sometimes. Secondly, he actually explicates what is called Sila, virtue. If you practice Sila, that is very good, especially don't violate 5 precepts, don't kill animals, don't steal things, don't engage in sexual misconduct, don't tell lies, don't have liquor, intoxicants like that. Buddha explains. So that is very important thing like that he explains to such persons. And Saggakata, then Kamana Adi, that means Buddha says, if you engage in these luxurious lives, that is, of course, there is luxury in the world, but it is temporary. It is a temporary satisfaction. So finally, it ends up in suffering, like that Buddha explicates. For example, in order to, take out a living to earn money, father has to work for 30 days sometimes. Suppose government one, even private one. So you have to work, I mean, all day in order to have something, in order to look after your family. But there is suffering inside. Some satisfaction is there, but inside underneath there is suffering. So Buddha says, Buddha means some persons, they are, of course, quite suitable enough to, they are developed in mind, they are actually developed enough to understand the deeper teachings. Then Buddha spoke to them what is called Four Noble Truths, dependent origination, like that. So in that manner, in our speaking, we must understand the listener. We must understand the listener's capacity.
Toastmaster Tinusha.
To give instructions. Very first day, he doesn't talk to the person the entire story. He takes time. One day he says, hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. But he wants to say something to the person. Then the next day, the first and foremost, sometimes he smiles. Secondly, where are you going? How are you? Like that. So he takes time when he knows I have to say something to this particular person. But if I am going to say today, he will be upset. Therefore, I must take time. So there are some problems cropping up in society, emerging due to the fact that we are going to tell something front. Actually, we have honest kind of idea in our mind. We want to correct the person. We want to say something, but the context is not suitable. Sometimes he is with his friends. We are going to tell him this is poor, this is not good, like that. But we must take time to help him. What is the appropriate time to tell him the thing? So the problems crop up in society. We do not know the time when to talk, when not to talk. Buddha knew very well when to talk, when not to talk, what to talk, like that. So I think in public speaking, Buddha was marvelous in that sense. That is why he was completely became victorious in that area. He could, of course, spread the Dhamma doctrine and make arahants and lot of develop mind persons. And now I am going to turn to the other aspects, the leadership qualities of the Supreme Buddha. So there I say the Buddha, actually Supreme Buddha is a leader in the real sense of the term. And when we examine the entire gamut of the discourses expounded by the Buddha and his character, lifetime of 45 years, so many leadership qualities are discernible, can be seen. So his leadership is unique one. It's a noble and spiritual and real and most importantly, practical one. Practical, not that is based on only mind. So it is practical. He can carry out his leadership. I mean, the instructions given by him can be carried out by anybody. And also, in his leadership, always wisdom plays the major role. Wisdom. Always wisdom comes up, right? Always he leads the followers with wisdom. His all instructions are wise, not unwise. Today, some leaders take decisions unwise. Sometimes they are far-sighted. Buddha is far-sighted as a leader. He do not look at what is called, short. He has no short-term solutions. He has long-term plans. He accordingly sometimes instant solutions are necessary. If instant solutions are necessary, he has to take them. He wisely take them up. But always he has a far-sighted vision. And as a leader, we have to have a far-sighted vision. And also, he is a very, very diligent leader, energetic leader, and fearless leader, and honest leader, and even he is a kind, patient leader. So that is very important. The leader should be kind. So there are leaders inhuman. They are inhuman. They don't consider about their, persons who are handling him. The leader must be a kind one, patient one. He has to have feelings towards his followers. So Buddha was like that. And also, now these are applicable in our day-to-day life, in our administrative works, in our education, in our ruling system, and any framework. These leadership qualities are applicable. And also, he doesn't force the retinue or the followers. He doesn't force. What he does is, he shows the path to the followers to follow. This is the path. If you do bad, you have to face this danger. If you do good, you have success. So like that, he doesn't force. Right? Now in our case, sometimes the leaders are going to force, then the followers don't listen to it. But Buddha directed them the real path. And he says, if you are going to do this, it will be detrimental to you. Right? Like that, with examples he shows. And the followers understand, actually, he is sympathetic towards us. So we have to show our followers, I am a leader who is sympathetic to you, who loves you, and I am honest. So Buddha showed the followers he is honest. Today, some leaders are dishonest. Sometimes they betray their followers. So it is not a good quality of a leader. Buddha never betrayed. He instructs, directs the path. So whatever he does, he says, he has his own first-hand experience. Right? Therefore, he knows whether this person can do this, whether this person cannot do this like that, whether he is able to do it, he has the capacity. Buddha knows, because Buddha himself has followed it. Right? Therefore, Buddha knows. So today, the leaders are not like that. He has never done such, or he has never faced such a situation, but he instructed his follower to do that. He doesn't know how to tackle whenever any problem arises, then that particular follower is going to meet the situation because he doesn't have experience. So the real leader, he has own experience. And also another thing is his leadership is based on truthfulness. That is very important. Truthfulness, right? And also he never uses untruthful methodologies. Now today, some leaders are not truthful, not honest. They sometimes misuse the followers. This is we can see this in various arenas. Sometimes even in politics, even in administration, even in education, even in sometimes in household activities, even in religious arena. This is found. Even religious arena, this is found. So the followers are misguided by some religious leaders. So that is a great problem in the world today. I am not talking about Buddhism. In almost all the areas today, they misguide the leaders. Therefore, innocent followers have to suffer, and the entire world has to suffer. Buddha never did such. Editorious devotees, Dharma friends, is also he considers both the advantage and disadvantage of any decision, any action to himself and others. So then he instructs to implement whatever plans which are healthy to both oneself and others. So he considers not only the individual and the others, both. So whatever we have to carry out, any plan, it should be healthy for himself and the others. Today, some persons carry out plans, it is good for him or her or that particular group and detrimental to the entire world sometimes, sometimes to the whole organization or the country, sometimes to the entire village, or when we take it to the low level, to the house, right? So therefore, whatever that we implement, any plan, it should be advantageous to both the parties. That means oneself and others. So Buddha was like that. Therefore, no kind of selfish ideas there, right? No selfishness. So selfless. And also, he doesn't instruct his followers to engage in any act detrimental to humans, animals, that means fauna and environment, flora, and even to unseen beings. So that is very important. Buddha considers even tiny act is important to the system. Today we think the so-called humans today think only we are the important persons. I am the important person. Myself is the important, right? My mind, right? Not the world. Buddha thought even tiny animal has its own freedom to live, its own freedom to live. So that is why Buddha can be considered the greatest leader ever born to this world, because he considered even tiny animal is an important component to the system, even tiny creature, even grass, right? Therefore, Buddha has instructed the iodinated monks not to even break a small leaf of a tree, it is a violence. It is an offense to a bhikkhu, right? So in the discourses and in Vinay, Buddha has discipline explicated all that. Therefore, and also, he is not only philanthropist. Now, there are leaders in our society, they are philanthropists, but they don't consider about other beings. Buddha is Sabba Satta Hitava. That's why he said, Sabbe Satta Bhavantu Sudita. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. All beings. It goes beyond human level. And all the beings in the world, seen and unseen, far and near, all the beings, born and unborn also. When we come to Karaniya Metta discourse, it explicates these things vividly. And also, friends and listeners, he accepts the facts as a leader that all the beings in the world, including even a tiny creature, as I mentioned, has his own freedom to live, and therefore he is compassionate to everyone. So leader should be compassionate to everyone. He cannot say, I have taken up, I have concentrated on this category of persons. Unfortunately, I would not consider the others. The leader cannot say like that. Even suppose he leads 100 persons, he has to look after the entire 100 persons. He cannot say, I could not, I miss one. Now, Buddha did not do like that. And also, he is leader who swims upstream, who swims upstream. That means he does not float downstream. So he swims upstream. It's a difficult thing in the water, right? So the leader who floats downstream cannot be called a leader. The leader must be always swim upstream. And also, Buddha as a leader is an exemplary leader, exemplary. That is very important. Today there are leaders who talk this and that. They talk and talk and talk. Never they show any example. He is not an example to the followers. Buddha was an example. Whatever he asked to follow are practiced by himself. So that is very important. And he also very important, Yatavadi Tathagari Pali called. He speaks what he does. He speaks what he does. And he does what he speaks. Now, this is a very good quality of a leader today. But I mean, the leaders that we encounter, they speak lots. They speak lot. They give promises. Right? In any, I mean, I'm talking about any level in the society, political, social, educational, and administrative, even household. They talk. They give promises, right? But they never put into practice. Put the practice whatever he said, and he says whatever he practices. So that is a very good quality of a leader. And also, he as a leader protects all his followers from any danger, right? Any danger by not actually. He explained the methodology, how to escape from danger. Various spiritual guidance he gave to the disciples. This is the methodology to overcome this problem. Now, suppose there are some problems, unseen problems. They said you have to practice what is called loving kindness meditation, metta meditation, in order to overcome them. And he showed the path to get rid of all the problems. And finally, the complete problem, that is what is called suffering, and suffering in the samsara. So he showed the path, that is middle path. And also, he not only led the followers for the success in secular terms, I mean mundane level, the material world, he also supported them to be successful in supramundane level, spiritual level. Right? Even if you not only to have success in this world, after life after death, you have to be successful. Therefore, lead a successful life in this life. That means, for example, you have to have a virtuous life, right? Accumulate merits, like that Buddha said. Do good, in other words. He also asked to be successful in life always by just means. So that is also very important. By just means. Now, unjust means are applied by people for success these days. Unjust, even to kill their own members, some leaders. Now, for example, Hitler. Now, you can remember. I am not going to have so many examples even today, right? So, in order to have secular development, they tend to kill their own members today. Leaders, so-called leaders. Buddha never did so. Buddha protected even the tiny creature, even, grass did not harm anything. So that is why when we talk about environmental protection, Buddhism is very important. When we talk about fauna and flora and animals, Buddhism is important. Right? When we talk about the protection of the human beings, Buddhism is important. Buddhism in the sense Buddha's leadership is important. So that is why even international law, when we talk about international law, Buddhism is important. That is why one professor, scholarly professor from University of Venerable at that time, he wrote a book called Buddhism and International Law by Professor J. Jaitilak. And also Buddhism and Race Question by Professor G.B. Malasekar. There was a kind of very important thematical discussion there. So we have to actually have some kind of ideas about those things. And also, Buddha is a determined leader who never takes a step back, right? In his 45 years of tenure of office, even his dedication, even when he is 80 years old, his dedication for his followers was there as he undertook the task when he was at 35 years. Right? Leader never gives up, So Buddha never gave up. Till his passing away, he did his yeoman service to all the beings. Therefore, meritorious devotees, listeners, Dhamma friends. So in his 18,000 discourses, we can see miscellaneous leadership qualities of the Supreme Buddha. So I think in this, according to the allocated time, I tried to give a kind of gist of his qualities and his speaking, public speaking and all that to a certain extent. This is kind of, I am touching the subject matter in a very, very simple manner in the sense, I think this is a vast area. We can lengthily talk about this thing, but for the time being, I think I did kind of justice to the top two areas to a certain extent according to my ability. Therefore, I am very happy for the invitation for this organization, this institute by Mr. Babu Maharajji. Therefore, thank you very much for your patient hearing. May the Noble Triple Gem bless with you all.
May Triple Gems with you too, Bhante. Rather saying thank you, we are grateful for you, Thero, for accepting our request and for sharing such knowledge with us. May the merit of this will help you to stop your sorrowful samsaric journey, Bhante.
So may you all be able to comprehend the Four Noble Truths within the regime of Gautam Buddha Sasana according to your ability and all that. And also I would like to, sometimes this discussion was listened by various students and various persons and various capable persons, intellectuals, and from various segments of the society, sometimes from some Buddhists and our Hindus and Islams and Christians and various religious persons. However, you have your own faith, you like your faith and you respect your faith. But my point here is, if you can just pay attention on the Buddha's methodology, that would be beneficial for anybody in the world for your success. So I think you had better pay attention on that area, because in the world today, I think not considering their religion and country or class or whatever, they would like to pay attention on subject matter talked about in Buddhism. So we would like you to help in any occasion if necessary. Thank you very much for patience and hearing, Mr. Vamanarathy, and all that. May the Noble Triple M bless you all.
May Triple Gems bless for you too, Bhante.